Hello, I am your everyday average Jonathan. Join me this week as I take this and turn it into this, a custom-made eccentric Gothic lantern. Hello, I am your everyday average Jonathan. I'm an ordinary guy with ordinary tools making extraordinary items. Well, begrudgingly, I think it's safe to say that fall is in the air. And go on, ask me if I'm ready for the fall. Go ahead, no, go ahead, ask me if I'm ready for it. I'm not ready for it, and you didn't have to ask. Where I live, summer seemed to last about 2 months too short. And even though September tends to be a nice month and October does have some warm spells, winter comes in November and it lasts pretty much until May. There's basically no spring where I live in Colorado. But I'll stop my belly aching. I guess in some ways in time for fall, this week I have been threatening to make a lantern for quite some time, a custom-made Gothic lantern. And the only reason I haven't been making it is because it kind of intimidates me. I'm gonna make the whole thing from scratch. I'm gonna try to make the oil reservoir, the wick, some sort of reflective backdrop. So without further ado, we're at the shop, let's get started. So earlier this winter, I got the idea to make a Gothic, sinister medieval torch, and I really like this project. It's actually one of the favorite projects that I've ever made. And somewhere around that same time, I just also got the urge to make a medieval or Gothic lantern. And it's something that could go a lot of different directions. All sorts of different ideas rolled through my head on designs, of course, but also on what should the flame source be. Should it just be a wick? Should it just be tinder of sorts? Could it be oil-based? I decided to go with oil-based, and also I was going to enclose this with glass. So two of those things, making a reservoir with a wick for oil and making something with glass, were completely new departures for me. So what I'm doing here now is I'm just going to go ahead and create the metal skeleton for this, and it's going to be 5-sided. So I decided to make it in the form of a pentagon, but being me, I can't just make something that's just straight up your regular 5-sided pentagon with 5 equal angles. I wanted to make something that was a little bit more just a little bit different to the eye. In the end, I don't think it actually worked. It just made a lot more work for me, but that is what I decided to do. And as anything I do, you're going to have points and spikes on it. So this is actually the bottom feet, the footers of this particular lantern. I'm going to give them a little bit of a sleigh, I call it a sleigh bend or a sleigh curve, so that they have somewhat of a gentle way to rest on the ground. But this was fun. This was a fun way to do this, and lots of hammering, lots and lots of tinkering, so that each of these became fairly uniform. As you can see here, they came out great. And I decided to quench these just to get them cool and work on them for no apparent Wait a second. Someone left a scooter near my workspace. Girls! Those little turkeys, they're always leaving their bikes, their helmets, their scooters. I can't stand it. Ugh, kids. And anytime I get to use like this angle finder, I call it a ganometer. It's probably not a ganometer, but anytime I get to use it, I do feel smarter. I feel like an engineer of sorts. There was a lot of bending this just by hand because this was mild enough steel and thin enough steel, even though it's 1/4 inch thick. It was something that I could bend a lot of this by hand. So made 5 of these in all, and they came out great. They came out really precise to one another. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and make the sides of the pentagon, and as you can see here, they're not even sides. Again, I thought it would look more visually interesting. In the end, I don't think you can tell at all. Lots of bisected angles, and my ganometer, the battery on it actually failed and I couldn't get it to turn back on, so I did most of this by eye. I was too lazy to just go to the house and get another battery. I'm just going to pick up that cutting oil right there, put it back over there. And I decided that I was going to put rivets into each of these. The torch that I made, and a few other things that I've made that I didn't use rivets on, I really can tell. I can tell that the riveted look just has an arcane feel to it, and I really like that. So in doing so, it kind of looks like the skeleton or the exoskeleton of a robot. Either that or a lunar landing pod or something like that. So here's the base. Here is the exoskeleton. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to start making these rings. And again, a better blacksmith would be able to hand forge these, to know the angles, to know where to hit them, to measure them correctly. I am not that. I just welded each individual piece one at a time. It took me a ton of time. So the glass arrived that I was going to use for this project, and I got heat-tempered glass, and it came from Amazon, and I thought, you know what, heat-tempered glass in a lantern makes a ton of sense. The only problem is when you're scoring it with this glass cutter that my friend Frank gave me, and you go to use the glass cutter to break it, heat-tempered glass doesn't break. Well, I should say it does break. It just doesn't break along the score line. It just shatters. So kind of lucky I didn't get that in my hand. So toss the glass, go to Home Depot, get some more glass panes. Now I'm going to begin the creation of the oil reservoir. The bottom portion that you saw me measuring there, I'm just using a cardboard template, and then I'm going to make that out of metal and weld it down, and that'll be the bottom of the actual reservoir. I used, gosh, this must have been 20 gauge steel, really thin steel. That was a mistake. Welding it, I just welded straight through it. It was a real pain in the butt. So I started, after this, I actually went back to using 14 gauge, much thicker stuff. As I welded this, I started to realize that this oil reservoir was going to be a problem. And it was at this point that I decided that this project was decidedly starting. What I was going to say there, and I think I probably censored myself, was this project was decidedly going to suck. And it really did. Apparently, I'm not really good at making anything watertight, as you can see here. Even that tray was not watertight. But what I ended up doing was I used truck bed liner paint. It's a very viscous, it's sort of like Flex Seal. It's a very viscous, very thick paint, and I just hit that thing time and time again, and it really did seal up all of the pores. So now I'm on to making this door that you see here. This is really fun, and what you see in my hand here is actually something called a rivet maker. And from time to time, I will make little rivet heads on things, and you heat it up. You don't have to heat it up, but you certainly can. Come back, hammer it flat, get a nice rivet head going. I've made a lot of hinges over my days, and they're super simple to make. They're really easy to make. If you've got a welder, they're incredibly easy to make. Just get 3 pieces, weld them opposing, and Bob is your uncle. There you go. There's a hinge door right there. It turned out really good. This is probably the one thing that I actually did pretty well on this thing. Now I'm welding up the other back panel. On the back side of this lantern, 2 of the major panels on the longest sides, they are going to be solid. So there's going to be no glass there. And then I decided to spray paint them bright silver to give them some reflective potential. The front 3 sections of this hexagon are going to be glass. Now I'm going to finish up making the top section of the oil reservoir. I've made the bottom, I made the sides. The top section is going to, of course, have a large opening that I can put the wick apparatus. There's a name for it, I'm sure. I don't know what it is, but the wick apparatus into this. And here you see me, those beautiful welds. I mean, have you ever seen welds that are any better? I did end up cleaning them up, yes. Now, here we are, Home Depot glass, not heat treated or heat tempered. This stuff scored really well, and this is the first time I've actually ever done this successfully, because the other one was unsuccessful, but it was really easy. I was very surprised. Out of curiosity, I just wanted to see what would happen if you got a piece of weld onto glass. From a piece of metal to the glass, what would happen? And apparently it breaks. Who knew? So what I'm doing here is I'm installing the glass panels, and I'm just going to put a little bit of crazy glue or super glue in there to hold them in place, and then I'm going to put several pieces of metal as little tabs. I decided to make a handle on top of this because I realized that any lantern has to either swing, you're going to hold it by a chain, it's going to swing, or you're going to hold it by some handle. This is an extremely heavy device, big surprise there, everything I make is heavy. But I'm going to make it so that it actually is a handle, but it's going to have a thumb holder, a thumb guard. As you see here, you get a little bit extra purchase and a little bit more torque when you're picking up something heavy. And here we have painter's tape. God bless. I hate painter's tape. I've come to realize that painter's tape is just an elaborate hoax. Somewhere at 3M, somebody created something and they thought, how can we get people to tear their own hair out, to bleed their own eyes out, and still keep on using it because they actually think it's useful? I'm so upset with painter's tape now that this camera isn't even focused on the right spot, and I don't even care. I'm just going through the motions right now, basically questioning all my life's decisions up to this point. All right, here is the wick apparatus, and I want to remind people of the last time I played with oil and fire. So harkening back to my obvious abilities with oil and flammable things and a wick and fire, I really felt good about just going ahead and getting this thing tested out. Got that thing in the oil, lit it up, it's on a magnet, nothing could go wrong. This is absolutely flawless work. Now just to put that handle on in a way that I can actually pick it up with all of its weight and hold it out in front of me or above me in any ability so that it does light the way in front of me and not something that I have to hold with several hands and a horse and a donkey. And you can see as I pulled that off that there was a breakage in there. You can also see the discoloration on the glass. Again, not my finest moments. Here's the handle. I painted this in fire-resistant black paint on the outside. And now we're going to test out this oil reservoir. It seemed like it held water, so of course it should be just fine with flammable oil, right? I'm not really certain how much to put in, so just guessed on it. Installing the wick apparatus in there, giving it a couple twists to make sure that it works, its little cap. And let's give this thing a shout. Nothing possibly could go wrong. This is flawless work right here. At this point, this is the first trial, just to see how it looks, how it feels in the hand. I haven't cleaned anything up, but so far, so good. The wick apparatus definitely has a tilt to it, but you know what? I'm going to leave it like that because I'm going to call it an aesthetic design feature. I like some of how this turned out. Of course, I'm going to see all of its flaws every time I look at it, but it is a decent turnout, and I'm not too disappointed in general. At this point, I have yet to test this out in the wind outside, but we're going to do that here next, and we're going to see how it fares. We're going to see if it actually reflects light and casts it forward. It does look the part. It does, there's a lot of things on it that I would redo, but upon testing it, I tested it at twilight. Of course, I had to put on the dark rider's cloak to do so. It does cast light. It does its job. It has a nice look to it. It is extremely heavy to hold in one hand, but I like it. I like a lot of the ambiance and the eccentricness of it and just sort of the overall accomplishment, but there are a lot of flaws that I will still see with this. Thank you for joining me for this build. So literally like 3 minutes ago, there was no wind whatsoever, and just now the wind is picked up. So you might hear a little bit of the aspen leaves of the trees that are just behind the camera wafting in the breeze. So bear with me on that. So this was a difficult project. I'm just gonna get straight into it. I give this project and the final product the grade of a D, maybe even closer to an F, for several simple reasons. The glass work that I did, I've never worked with glasses, I've said probably 15 times already. And I just sucked at it. There's broken glass, as you can see right here. There's burnt glass. My personality, my cadence, my pace, and my patience do not do well, apparently, with broken glass. Also, apparently, welding, when you weld, there's something called splatter, and splatter is just lots of little teeny pieces of molten metal that just fly up from the place that you're actually welding and fling themselves all over the place. Well, and apparently, number two, if you get molten metal onto glass, then it's going to leave little pits, little burrs, and even potentially crack the glass. Apparently, number three, if you cover said glass with a protective surface of tape or cardboard, well, apparently molten metal can kind of burn through those things straight onto the glass below that you're trying to protect. But I think that we can all agree, who would have known, right? Who would have known that those sorts of things would occur? So that said, pits on the glass, cracks on the glass, discoloration on the glass, all sorts of things. It was also the first time that I've ever worked with trying to make a oil reservoir with a wick, something that could potentially become a Molotov cocktail and light myself and my shop on fire. This handle that I made, you know, it came out kind of how I wanted it to, but I made this ring. I wanted to make it for a gloved hand or even maybe a gauntleted hand to fit inside there. And not only was it's not the right size in any dimension. This ring for the thumb will not fit a gauntleted finger whatsoever. And then the main handle, I couldn't get my gauntleted fingers underneath that at all. So again, intention, fine. Execution, big failure. I do like the door. I do like the way this little door pin worked out and how I put a little handle on there. I think that's pretty cool. I like the way it clicks shut and kind of closes in a way that you can sort of get the pin back into it. But after painting this, it's been quite the struggle getting the pin in without using two hands at all times. So failure number 12. When I put the wick and the wick, I'll just call it the wick apparatus into the reservoir, I didn't think of how this little turning handle to lengthen and decrease the length of the wick was going to work inside there. So engineering wise, I got that completely wrong too. And the last piece that I am just not that pleased with myself about is the hexagon, I'm sorry, the pentagon that I made, the 5-sided shape. For some reason, I didn't want to make a regular pentagon, thank you very much. I just wanted to sort of deform it a little bit, and that just made all sorts of problems for me because I had different angles I had at least, 3 different angles, as opposed to if you just make a regular pentagon, you're gonna have just the same angle 5 times. So magnify that out, where I had to make the same pentagon much smaller down at the bottom, another pentagon up here, halfway up, and 2 pentagons, one inner, one outer at the top, plus the oil reservoir, which is also 2 mirrored pentagons with thick pieces of sheet metal as the sides. It was just a lot of work and a lot of what I call band-aid work because I was making lots of mistakes along the way that I didn't show you. Either way, enough belly aching for me. I am glad that this is over, and I think I'll look at this and I will be overall okay with it, even if I can use it from time to time, which brings up an interesting note. The night footage that I shot of this, I was going to shoot the night footage like I did of the torch that I made in the woods with my cloak and my glove on, and I was going to do it in the woods. But then I'm not making this up. In the middle of the night, I wake up and immediately the thought went, oh crap, that's flammable oil inside of this reservoir. What if it spills? What if I drop it? What if it breaks? What if it breaks in the forest, in my woods? And then my sleep stupid mind thought, well, I can run a hose out there and I can just hit it with water. I'm not making this up. And then my sleep stupid wiser portion of my mind said, oil and water, what's the saying? How does this saying go about oil and water? So needless to say, I'm glad I thought that through. And the night footage is shot on the veranda in my driveway outside of the forest. All of this just sounds like an incredibly bad idea, but it came together okay. Thank you for joining me for this. Thank you for bearing with my cacophony of mistakes. And if you like builds that are like this, that are avant-garde, that are eccentric, that are semi-artistic, or even just fantastical recreations, check out my channel for other projects that I've taken on. Okay, next project. I did receive 3 more commissions to build 3 more daggers. Folks saw the dagger build that I did last week, and people reached out to me to build, again, their children daggers. They're adult children in this case. But before I get to those, next week, I'm actually gonna make something that a friend of mine that I've built before with gave me the idea for, which is to make a crown of thorns. Not so much in religious observance necessarily, but because it's so iconic, it's such an indelled image into our collective mindset, especially in Western cultures, that I think I could probably come up with something that's fairly striking. And here's the thing, I think that there's probably many of these that have been made, but I'm still gonna do it. So join me next week for that. I look forward to it. Until then, God bless.